Well, welcome to you, Librado. How's your experience so far?
It's been fantastic. The people here have treated me first class and my horse first class, and it's an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here. I thank His Royal Highness and his team for inviting me. It's just a dream come true.
And you've been training on and off for the last 25, 26
Yeah.
years. Did you ever think you'd have a horse good enough to come
Never.
and compete at an event like this?
Never. I aspired. I dream big. People sometimes look at me and say, "It'll never happen." But in my heart, I just think if I put it out there and just dream about it and make a goal, it's happened. I did that in the movie business. People thought, "Yeah, you can't be you're a director, producer." And I said, "I'm gonna," Then I said yes, and I went to UCLA and I learned the craft, and I exceeded my wildest dreams in that business. And as a horse trainer, the same thing. I just said, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to find the best horse. And Lovesick Blues came into my life and changed it completely.
Well, we'll come on to the movie career in a few minutes, but let's start with Lovesick Blues. He joined you just over a year ago. Tell us how you came to get him and what sort of a journey he's taken you on.
Yeah, I ran against him with another horse I had, and I saw him run, and I said, wow, that horse is good. I want that horse. And the breeder was the owner. His name is Nick Alexander. He owned him, and I thought it was impossible that I would ever be able to acquire him. And Nick and I became friends. I had another horse that I excelled with, a horse named Johnny Padres, which was one of Nick's horses. And he was happy with what I did with that horse. And then he asked me one day, hey, I have that horse called Lovesick Blues. You want to go take a look at him? And I went there because I thought I was going to train him. And I saw him. He was at the farm. And then when I left, I said, hey, Nick, he looks great. He goes, what do you want? Do you want to buy him? And my heart stopped. I said, what? And I immediately said yes. We worked out a price. The next morning, I got in my car. It was a 2-hour drive to the farm. Got in my car with a cashier check, and I said, boom, paid it. And the rest, brought him home. And the rest is just history. He came home, and I just loved on him a lot. I have a really good staff. We worked with him, kind of got him to refocus on how to run, when to run and when not to run. And he seems to like that. And I think the love is probably the most part of it. I think I'm not saying the other trainer didn't love on him, but I give him a lot of love. But he doesn't like too much. When you do too much, he's like, as you see in the track, he's got his ways. But I think I have him figured out.
But that love you're giving him for an 8-year-old, he just seems to be at the peak of his powers. A Bing Crosby win and an excellent run at the Breeders' Cup.
Yes, I think, just like all of us, as we get older, I think I think love and just tender care and just watching every single ache and pain he has and make sure that he's never feeling that. And if he goes to the track and I see that he's walking funny, I'll take him back. And I'll make sure that when he goes on that track, he's feeling good. And I think he knows that I'm not going to put him on a track when he's not comfortable. And I think I'm taking care of him, and I think he's really taking care of me in a big way.
And how's he shaped up over here? It's a slightly deeper surface than you trail on back in America.
Yeah, I'm happy to say Daniel, who I really respect, Daniel Ramsey, that is, he told me that, hey, your horse is going over the track really well. He's really light on his feet, stretching out and powerful. So that's what I wanted to hear from him. I said, hey, you don't got to sugarcoat anything with me. He said, no, I'm telling you. I said, okay. And I'll, come from him, Kenny McPeak's guy, I'm gonna listen a little bit,
And you take on imagination again from the Breeders' Cup, but things didn't quite go your way, did it, at Del Mar?
No, I had a really rough trip. He got squeezed at the start and 10 lengths behind the field. But he started to make his move, and he got, 3 different moves he made. Got stopped cold. He went outside, got stopped, went down the rail, got stopped, found the hole, and then got through and ran. He leads the whole race by 6 lengths. And I think he came back really mad. He ate all his food that night, and I think I even said to the Daily Racing Forum that he was really mad. He came back and he was when you're cooling out. He was like really mad. I know his attitude. I go, oh, okay, he didn't do much. So I thought I dreamed about this, and I was invited, and I think he's gonna show me or prove me right. So.
And you touched on your other career. How do you manage to dovetail being both a racehorse trainer and a movie producer?
Good question. I found that medium, that middle ground. I know I've been doing it so long, so I've been able to balance them both. I have some really good partners in both my film business and in my horse business. My grooms and my assistant's really good, and I think the good Lord's allowed me to find that medium, and allow me to have a foot in each world, and it's exciting. And I have a couple things in development, as I mentioned before, a couple of major films, and looking forward to having a great year with not only the Lovesick Blues, with a couple of films that I'm in process with.
And the films you've got in process are both to do with famous musicians.
So, yeah, one of them is a famous soul singer back in the 70s, 80s. His name is Marvin Gaye. And the other one is an older musician, Louis Armstrong, very famous saxophone player. Yeah, both autobiographies. So excited.
And what movie, if everybody wants to go and look you up afterwards, what movies can we see that you've produced so far?
Yeah, first of all, if you ever look me up, look up Lee Librado. And the reason why it's Lee Librado is it's very hard to say my name, Librado, Barocio. So my agent told me, hey, we gotta make it where it's catchy, and he used Lee. A lot of people call me Lee, so he used Lee Librado, and it works. So everything's under Lee Librado. But I had a couple of films that I think got 12 in all that I worked on, or that I directed and produced, and probably the one that I was the happiest with. I have a family, so everything I do, I try to make family oriented. That's why my barn, my stable is called Mia Familia, and I just try to keep it that. And I made a film called The Boys Club, and it was a family film that did really well, and I'm proud of that film because when I went to film school and when I was learning, I made a conscious decision. I said, if I'm going to get in this business, I'm going to make a film that my mother and father can come to the theater and watch and not be embarrassed as to what their son has made. So I made it a promise to them, and I want to make family to me is the most important thing in my life, and I wanted to make films that are good for families to come and watch and enjoy and laugh and live vicariously through what I'm telling them, and have a happy day and go.
And are there parallels you can draw between making movies and training racehorses?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I think as a producer and director, you have to go out there and find the script. As a trainer, you got to go find the horse. As a producer, you got to develop that script. As a trainer, you got to develop the horse. You get it to a point where you got the film on this feet. You get the actors and directors. As a trainer, you get the jockey, and then you put it all together, and it's either the race or the production of the film. And there's a lot. It's really the same. They're both almost acting as a contractor. You're kind of the middle guy. You hire the grooms, and as a producer, you hire the riders, your staff. And I think it's very similar. And I think that's why I could survive. I could live in both worlds.
And looking ahead beyond the weekend, we'll get Saturday out of the way. But is Dubai something you might look at as well, maybe for the Golden Shaheen?
Yes, I was invited. Oh gosh, another blessing. Yes, I was invited. I am looking forward to going from here to there, and I just hopefully he runs. I mean, I feel that he run a big race, so I think he deserves a chance there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
But there could be a movie in that as well. That the film producer comes out to the Middle East and goes to Dubai and to Saudi Arabia.
You know what? Some people have told me that, but I don't want. To me that's egotistical. I think when you make a movie about yourself, who wants to see that? I'm boring. I'd rather make an inspiring movie. I'd rather change my character to a young woman, young girl, young boy, and just get people. But I think that the whole concept of me being here even today is just, or the whole reason is I believed and I dreamed, and I just want. Hopefully, people can look at that and say, hey, you know what? He came from nowhere. I'm an underdog, just like Lovesick Blues is an underdog, and I love being an underdog like Rocky. Rocky. That's just live for that. And I think if I can just show that, and if someone sees it and sees what I'm doing, they go, well, he did it. I can do it. There, I did my job. I just want people to dream. Just dream and go for your dreams, and they do come true. Don't let anyone tell you. If you keep trying, they will happen. So I'll go on record saying that, and I'll believe that till the day I die.
I've got any questions for Librado? We've got a microphone we can get around. No microphone? Okay. Just holler out, Mikey.
Hello. I'm just hollering out.
Yeah.
You mentioned before the race, before the draw, that you were preferring an outside post. You draw on the rail. Just your thoughts on what he's going to have to do from there.
You know what? I think if he breaks, in the Breeders' Cup he broke sharp and then he kind of got tossed back. I think Giovanni's will break and just figure out a path to stay up in there and maybe kind of get to the outside. The first race, I think I'm almost certain that the first race, the first race I ran him was down the hill at Santa Anita, and I think he was on the inside. He broke, sharp, backed up, but he stood up in there, and then he ran up the rail and ran second by no. So he doesn't mind the rail, but I would prefer to have a little more outside. But hey, that's the way the good Lord has it, and I'm going to accept it and just keep dreaming.
Could you give us an idea of how big your stable is?
Yeah, hi. I don't have a big stable. I prefer it that way. Actually, I think I excel more with a smaller stable. I have a lot of older horses. I've been blessed with the ability to get an older reclamation project and work on them and just make them come back and act like a kid again. And I like to keep it small. I did get up to 35 last year, but I don't know if I enjoyed it. It became a business. I became a manager. I couldn't give. I have to be honest. I couldn't give 35 horses my attention. I can have my assistant look at it, and I'll go over the horse. But no, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm sure there's other trainers that can do that in an instant. But I prefer to keep it small like that.
Okay.
But with some good horses, though.
Like this one.
Yes.
Okay, well, Librado, many thanks for coming in today. Wish you all the best of luck on Saturday, and hopefully we'll see you back here Saturday night.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor and a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.